Well, good. Well, thank you. This is another opportunity to come to you to share a thought or two with you. And thank you for following this. Thank you for choosing to listen to this. We've been walking a journey together. And as we walk this journey personally, it's been tremendous for me just sharing some of these insights. And even as I share them, they are helping me also reevaluate, because sometimes you can know some things, but how often do you put them into practice? How often do you practice them, or really how often do you leave them out? And so for me, by sharing this, it also reminds me that I need to leave these things out, and there need to be some principles, some guidance, some things that really helps me be able to manage myself, manage those relationships around me, manage issues with my family well, so that then at the end of the day, I am benefiting also as I'm sharing this journey with you. And I know probably you've been following and you've listened to these things, and some of them are you're finding places to use them. Some of them maybe you're still not sure where does this work. And as we continue this journey today, I wanted to share with us, I think last time when we had this conversation, we talked about really how do you simplify an idea. And you could have an idea and you kind of really bring in all the possibility angles, all the possible ways you can get it done. And sometimes we leave things when they're complex because we don't know how to really simplify it to the point where now we can say, here is what we are doing. Today, I wanted us to talk about something that builds on that. Okay, so once you've simplified an idea, how do you know that you've simplified it enough? You've simplified it in a way that then it's easy to run with. It's easy to implement, because at the end of the day, the reason we have ideas is that so that we can implement them. Nobody has ideas so that you can just feel nice that, oh, I have a beautiful idea, but probably you can't implement it. And so I believe deep in our hearts, the reason you have an idea is that the desire that you'd like to implement this idea to see how it can transform you in any way or in any direction that you want to take this. And so there's this tool called the clarity tool. And really it's to ask yourself, are my plans, one, simple? Most of us like to dwell in the complexity of issues. We want to complicate things. We want to talk about complex ideas, and that's good. There's a place for that. But at the end of the day, sometimes complex ideas just remain complex ideas because you really don't know what to do with those ideas. They're marvelous. They're amazing. I have some friend of mine who sometimes shares things with me, and I go like, okay, so what do I do with that? Because it's complex, it's over the top. You don't even sure how do you bring it down to a point where someone can say, okay, I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm running with. And so the question is to ask, are they easy to understand? Can you explain this to a 6-year-old? Can you explain this to even a 13-year-old? And they'll probably have an idea what you're talking about. I have a very inquisitive 8-year-old son. So yesterday we were talking about humility. And so I realized I still needed to figure out how best can I describe humility to him in a way that he will understand what it means to talk about humility. And so yesterday I still realized, okay, I think I need to figure out how to make it easy for this 8-year-old to understand when I say humility. So that's a journey that I'm still on. And so, is your plan easy to understand? When you do a draft and come up with a strategic plan, is it easy to understand? Can someone look at your plan and say, I get what you mean? Or does someone look at your plan and still go like, I'm not sure I understand what your plan is all about? And you still have to use so many words to explain it, so many words and jargons to break it down to someone. I think when you realize that you still have to really use so many words to really describe your plan, then probably you need to maybe make it simpler. If you have a plan to start a business, how do you make it simple? How do you make it very simple that anybody can understand what you mean? Now, so that's one, simple. It has to be easy to understand to you and to everyone else involved. The minute you realize some people still don't understand it, then you might not get anything moving in that plan. So that's one. Second thing And as you see here, second thing is scalable. So are you able to grow it without breaking or changing the foundation of it? Now, of course, I know sometimes you might change a plan, you might change a course of something, but the basic thing is to ask yourself, are you able to scale up your plan? Are you able to grow this idea without necessarily breaking or changing anything? And when you find that maybe when for it to scale up, you have to throw out the whole thing and start afresh, then you need to review that plan. What are you talking about really? Because your plan needs to be a plan that you can scale it up. You can say, okay, yesterday we made 3 steps. Now we can make 5 steps. Then we can make 10 steps. Then I can bring in 2 people and together we can make 50 steps. There's a book I was reading. And in this book, some 2 friends started a business. And they started a business and they brought everybody on board and all this. And all of a sudden they realized there were chaos in this business because everybody was like, this person is doing my role. Or you told me I'm responsible for this. Now this person is playing my role and this person is doing my role. So what is my role? If this, and there was a lot of bickering and a lot of conflict. And so then they realized, as much as they had a good plan for a business, when they were growing, probably how they approached their growth wasn't really scalable for them. It brought more drama and conflict. And so what then they needed to do is they fired everybody. They fired everybody, which was drastic. And the 2 of them said, okay, we're going to see how to scale this and we will bring in people only when we are sure that we need to bring them on board. And only that we're sure what they're coming in to do, because that's growth stage we are in. And so we are moving our idea to the next phase. We are not messing up what we've been doing because of growth challenges. And so probably for you also looking at the idea you've been working on, whether it's your own personal growth, whether it's your own work, whether it's your own financial plan. Maybe your financial plan is to grow your savings or to grow your investment portfolio. And when you're thinking about growing your investment portfolio, what is this scalable plan that you can work on? That I can say, I can grow my investments without necessarily breaking everything that I've built, the foundation that I've built. I can grow it from saving X amount every so often to increasing my portfolio where now I can invest in X, Y, Z, and whatever that is. So that's very important to think through. Is your plan scalable? And if your plan is not scalable, then you need to ask yourself, what exactly are you working towards? Are you working towards just a one-off thing? And that's fine. There's probably a place for that. But if you're working for something that you need to build beyond yourself, then you need to ask yourself, is this scalable? And if it's not scalable, then you need to talk to someone and ask them, look at my plan. Do you think there's any way that it looks scalable? And someone will tell you, yeah, this thing looks like once you do it one-off, you can't build it up. You can't build on it. You can't grow it to something bigger than this. But for you maybe to grow it something bigger than this, look at it this way. And maybe then you can be able to grow it. Because nobody wants to waste their energy doing something that they cannot grow. Now, the third thing that you need to be thinking through when you're thinking about your plans, and especially when you're even working with people, and when you're bringing teams and you're working with other partners and you're working with stakeholders and all these things, is your plan sustainable? Can it be maintained and upheld? Can you continue to be consistent in what you're doing? Can you do this over and over and benefit and bring growth and bring value that you're looking for? Now, sustainability is very key on anything that you're seeking to do. And sometimes some of us, of course, we realize that when we start projects or we start ideas, we might not be clear on the scalability of those ideas sometimes, because at that moment we're just excited and thrilled at the idea we have. But the question is, you need to ask yourself, is this plan sustainable? Can it be able to be maintained, and can it be upheld? Can it be done over and over and over again? Is there an element of it that is sustainable? It could be organizational sustainability, in that you're thinking about how then can you build capacity of others to continue doing this thing, that even in your absence, things can continue to grow. The danger is sometimes when you have a plan that is totally relied on you, that the day you are sick, you're not able to show up, then nothing works. Nothing moves until you come back. There's a problem when that is the only plan you're building. And so it's to ask yourself, can my plan be sustainable? Can my plan be maintained? Even when I have to attend to other issues, can my plan continue to grow by itself? Financial sustainability, that has become a buzzword nowadays, where everybody's talking about financial sustainability. Can you financially sustain your plan? And of course, there are moments when plans can be financially sustained. There are moments where that financial sustainability is probably difficult because of the nature of what you're doing, but you need to ask yourself, is there an element of what I'm doing that it can even be financially sustainable? Or is there a portion of it that I need to change how I view it or how I implement it so that it can be sustainable in itself? And so, as you look at your goal, as you look at your plan, as you look at your idea, as you look at what you want to implement, and maybe you're implementing it with your other people, maybe it's a family project, maybe it's a family plan, and you have a spouse, you have a partner you're working with in this, is to ask yourself, is this thing simple? Does everybody understand it? Is it simple? 2, is it scalable? Can we scale it? Can we grow it? Can we make it bigger? Can it work with, instead of 2 people, can it reach a point where we can work with 20 people? And that might be not today. It might be probably in 5 years' time. Can we scale it to a point where now we can be reaching out to X number of people, or we can be building X number of ideas or X number of plans or whatever that is? Do you see it scalable? And can you scale it up? And is it clear for you? And is it sustainable in itself? Whether as at organizational level, at an idea level, or financially, or systems, are they sustainable systems? Or the structures you've put in place, are they sustainable? The tactics of how you move around, you implement it, are they sustainable? And remember still the ideas we were talking about, the 10 categories we were talking about. When you think of your financial goals, is that clear? Is that clear to you? Is it simple, sustainable, scalable? When you think of your spiritual growth, is it simple? Don't push yourself to start complicating your life, trying to do things, this is not simple and not possible for me. But is it simple? Is it scalable? Can you grow? If you wanted to maybe pray twice a day, can you say, okay, let me start with praying once, and then I can pray twice, and then I can pray thrice, and then I can pray all this, and then maybe there's a time you can even pray 10 times in a day. And that's for your own spiritual growth. Or is it something else you're working on? Is it your personal development? Don't come up with a complex plan in your personal development that you have no idea where to start from. Start simple. Do I need to get a certificate on something? And can I get that certificate? Maybe I need to do an online course. Maybe there's a free web, because there are all these free courses. Maybe there's a free website that offers free courses. So let me start there. And then when there's interest, I can use what I have to grow, pay for a certificate, and go and grow and grow and grow. And that way, you see yourself making baby steps. And of course, you move from just relying on milk, and now you can crush the bones, and now you can do major transformational things because you're growing. And so that's very important. And of course, is it something that you have the motivation to sustain the process? So I don't know what this means to you. I don't know how this means for your own projects, for your own ideas, for your own plans, but I hope this helps you reevaluate some of the plans and even have a conversation with the people you're working with. Say, hey guys, our plans simple? Are our plans sustainable? And are our plans scalable? Well, thank you for listening to this. And I hope this adds into your resources. I hope this adds into your conversations with your people that you're working with. I hope this adds into your progress, growth journey as you work towards your goals. Thank you very much and have a wonderful time. Thank you.